Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Haq Nur Maulana Shah Rahim al-Husayni Hazir Imam. Tawfiq, Ta'id, Himmat, Yari. Tawfiq, Ta'id, Himmat, Yari. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Mawla Khudawand, we are here on this platform with some friends, very few. I would like to know more about your house-e-batin, your subtle house today. So we need your mercy to do the hand holding of us. We need tawfiq, ta'id, himmat, yari. We need wisdoms. We need those basirat to recognize the wisdoms. So we badly need your help. We need wisdoms. We need to learn wisdoms, special wisdoms, so we can recognize your house in a special way, with a special basirat. So please help us. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Nur Maulana Sharahi, once again, ya limada to each and every one of you. Today we are covering the question number 87, Kaaba, house of God, and question number 88, the shirt of Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salam. So we have a lot to cover, so without any further ado, going to start reading the question number 87. In what sense is the Kaaba regarded as the house of God, while it is a material building, and God is above and free from space and spacelessness? What is the ta'wil of the turning of the face towards the Qibla, i.e. the direction of the Kaaba? So that's the question. It is the house of God because, first and foremost, the Quran Sharif is a very reliable source amongst all the Ummah. Once the Quran Sharif says it's a house of God, so we accept that, this house of God. In two places, it's alluded to house of God. 2 by 125 and 22 by 26. And what are the characteristics of this house of God? Based on this verse of the Quran Sharif, we're going to explore the deeper meanings in the following slides, but let's read the verse of the Quran Sharif and remember this verse of the Quran Sharif as we discuss along. What is and when ja'alna al-bayta, when we made that bayt, the house, masaba. As you can see that from the translation is how place of return, masaba. So it's a place of return, linnas, for the whole humanity. It's not just for Muslims, atheists, it's for whole humanity. That's the definition of nas, linnasi. Wa amnan, so it's also a place, not only a place of return, but also a place of aman, peace, protection. We're going to just explore that. How is that the place of protection? وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مُقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. So the story goes that Hazrat Ibrahim, first and foremost, Hazrat Ibrahim built that house. Then after the deluge of Hazrat Noah, this house was destroyed. And then Hazrat Ibrahim built, along with his son, Hazrat Ismail built this house. So here there's a hukum, command of Allah, وَاتَّخِذُوا, and hold, all of you. It's plural, all of you. Min muqami Ibrahim musalla. That place of Ibrahim is where you perform your prayers. Musalla, place of worship, place of prayer. Or jai namaz. This is a command, divine command, that the standard of the prayers should get that sublime status where Hazrat Ibrahim performed his prayer. Wa ahidna ila Ibrahima. Now here's the contract that has been signed or taken from Hazrat Ibrahim and Ismail and tahira baiti, so that they have the responsibility to keep that house mutahhar. So this they have been chosen to do. They are chosen to do that. For who? For what purpose? For money groups who offer prayers. Of those groups are لِلطَّائِفِينَ. Taifin, tawaf karne wale. Those who do the tawaf, come in the house of God and go around it and tawaf. So for those people, and wal akifin, and other group of the worshippers are akifin, itikaf karne wale. Those who perform itikaf, like 3 days, 7 days, 40 days itikaf. So they're called akifin. Wa ruku'a, those who bow and sujood. So those who perform ruku and sujood, prostration. So for these groups of people, this house must be mutahhar, and this task was given to Hazrat Ibrahim and Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam. And this is it's a place of return, a place of protection, peace. As we go along, we're going to find out. So no doubt, God is above time and space, because as we go along, we're going to discuss a hadith that in that hadith says, Allah Ta'ala says that neither the heavens nor the earth can contain me. Only the heart of my Abdi al-Mumin, my Banda, Abdi al-Mumin, only the qalb, heart of my slave. So we're going to come to that. So if God cannot be contained, neither in the heavens nor earth, then how can we reconcile this house of God? Kaaba, house of God. House of God, that means God should be living there. So as we go along in the answer, al-Dīn says that the wisdoms in God's recognition. Now here's the thing. The wisdoms in God's recognition hidden in the house of God. So in the house of God, those wisdoms, we're talking about the wisdoms hidden in God's recognition. If we have a true understanding of that, then we have a chance of truly enter the house of God. Now we're talking about the wisdoms of God's recognition. Wisdom is something subtle. It's not physical, like the bricks, mold, or whatever it is out in the house of God, a black stone there. It's not like that. Wisdom is something to do with the subtle things. It's something for the intellect. So we got to engage our intellect to learn those wisdoms in order to be able to enter the house of God in a true sense. If that doesn't happen, we might not have much hope. Also, we come across this principle from the Quran Sharif that everything is created in pairs. We know that verse of the Quran Sharif here, Subhanallazi khalaqal azwaja. So exalted is who created everything in pairs. Everything in pairs. Khalaqal azwaja kullaha. Everything. Kullaha in pairs. Mimma tunbitul ars, whatever grows out of the earth, wa min anfusihim, and from everybody's anfus, souls, personal worlds. So everything is in pair. Wa mimma, and from those things la ya'lamuna, that they don't even know. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that everything has pair, so we must accept that. And some of the things that we cannot even imagine, these have pairs. In that principle, in the light of that principle, house of God also must have a pair. And that's the case. I mean, it's universally accepted in the Ummah. It's universally accepted in the Ummah. There's a Baytul Ma'mur. Bayt, house, Ma'mur, Abad, or built. A prosperous house of God. As the story goes, they believe that it's right across from Kaaba in the heavens. In the heavens, right across from Kaaba. But the earth has its own movement. Then what happens to that house? Right across from the Kaaba, heavens and the Kaaba? So these are metaphorical examples here that we need to explore and find wisdom behind it. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So we came to this point, up to this point, that everything is in pair. So the house of God is in pair too. in pair, Zahir, Batin, night, day, heaven, earth, Kaaba, Baitul Ma'mur. And what's the wisdom behind this? If we don't know the other side, like the two sides, we cannot recognize the wisdoms behind it. Here, another hadith, tu'raful ashya'u biazdadiha. Things will be recognized through their opponents, or whatever from the it's called ikmati azdad. Ikmati azdad. So if we don't know the other side, we will be blindfolded. Something we believe in one thing. That's what happens if people only believe in Sharia. In Sharia, this house of God is made out of stones. You see a black stone there and all that. Is it really protected, or is prone to susceptible to all these natural disasters? History is a witness. History is a witness. So what we need to know, we need to know more about both sides, more and more about Baitul Ma'mur, because this hadith says, it gives us a principle. Tu'raful ashya biazdadiha, that ashya, things, will be recognized through its azdad, if we know the other side, zid, opponents. If that's the case, we need to know the other side. The other side is Baitul Ma'mur. If we know the Baitul Ma'mur and characteristics of Baitul Ma'mur, then we would be able to understand the wisdoms behind what's happening in the Kaaba, or why was the Kaaba to build in the first place. And as you can see, through what senses can we see or feel Kaaba? It's not subtle. The physical Kaaba isn't, we know where it's located. We can see, people go there and see and perform some rituals. So that's a physical senses. So if that applies, the physical senses apply to physical Kaaba, the opposite senses, that means spiritual, intellectual senses are required to see the Baitul Ma'mur. Baitul Ma'mur, because that's subtle, that's not physical. For that, once we know that we require, the subtle senses are required, should we desire to see that house, we need to develop those senses. This is, you will find a lot of prophetic traditions about Baitul Ma'mur. I picked just one here and for the sake of it. Well, Baitul Ma'mur, about Baitul Ma'mur. Well, Baitul Ma'mur, that the house of, prosperous house of Allah, Huwa Baiti, Huwa Baitu, that's the house, Hiza il Arsha, that's across from the Arsh. To Amirhul Malaikatu, it's inhabited or it's built by the angels. Yusalli fihi kulla yawm sab'una alfa. They pray. Here's the angels. Yusalli. This word has the same root word as salat, namaz, prayer. So here angels also offer prayers, but it's not like timely prayers or something else. It could be some different prayer, constant zikr or different prayers. So what happens? One big thing about this is that every day, fi kulli yawmin, every day they perform prayers. Angels come perform prayers. Sab'una alfan, 70,000. Now, who's going to find out what's happened, what's the nature, and how is the structure of this Baitul Ma'mur? It's such that based on this hadith, about 70,000 angels come every day, and they do not go back. I don't know like the details about this, but probably somewhere in the books of ᶜAllāmah you'll find about that. It's a subject to research and find out. If anybody of you know about this, you may share a bit later. So about 70,000 angels come. Summa la ya'uduna ilayhi. So they don't go back. That's the nature of this Baitul Ma'mur, is such that angels come and don't go back. And the angels that come, it could be the category of those 4 categories. that they come do tawaf, taifin, itikaf, and ruku and sujud. So there's categories of angels. Anybody that reaches there, any soul that reaches there must be of that sublime status. Their soul should be of that malakuti status, so to reach the Baitul Ma'mur, to perform that kind of subtle spiritual intellectual rituals. So comparing of both houses, let's do some comparison, because it's based on that principle. It said things will be recognized through its opposites. So we're going to do some comparison, Kaaba and Baitul Ma'mur. So it's Zahiri versus Batini. One is Zahiri, the other is Batini, subtle. Nobody can see it with this physical senses. Senseless versus living, speaking, intelligent, and honorable. These things you can find from our great Da'i or Hujjat, Sayyidina al-Mu'izzuddin Shirazi. So we're paraphrasing this. That house, because this house is not living, it's senseless, it's out of stones, but that house is hayat, living, speaking, intelligent, and honorable. The physical house, Kaaba, is visited by the mass, mainly the Ummah, versus the Baitul Ma'mur, that only angels can visit there. Only angels can visit there. In the Kaaba, you'll find Ajri Aswad, while in the Baitul Ma'mur, it's Ajri Abyaz. Ajri Aswad means black stone. Ajri Abyaz means a white stone. Why is that? So you'll find the wisdoms about this in the books of al-Allāmah that originally this white stone. Now here is the thing, in the Baitul Ma'mur, where there's a world of oneness. How is that? Does that work? How can we reconcile this? It is stone, white stone, while there's a oneness. The separation there, or everything exists in a sort of oneness. There is some special stone which is white, or a special nur, or colorless nur, or white. And what happened symbolically in the Kaaba, in the physical house of God, due to zulumat, darkness, disobedience, all the sins that committed by all the people, this stone has turned black. But in original form represents a white stone in Baitul Ma'mur. So as we read that verse of the Quran Sharif, that house is a place of return and peace and protection. Physical protection not guaranteed in the house of Kaaba. Everybody can read that from history, that thousands of people die there out of natural disaster, heat, or some other wind, rain, something's happened. So as we can see, this house is not protected. And if this house is not protected by itself, how can it guarantee the protection of the visitors? Versus the spiritual house, which offers spiritual, intellectual, and physical protection guaranteed, subject to conditions. Here's the important thing. Spiritual, intellectual protection is guaranteed for sure. Also physical. Once our soul and intellect is protected, we could find our way. We have a sense of direction, what to do, what not to do, and stay safe physically too. Why is that subject to conditions? We can discuss this verse of the Quran Sharif, chapter 17 by 70. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَرَزَقْنَاهُم مِّنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَىٰ كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. Let's recall the first verse of the Quran Sharif, that this house is for the whole humanity, whether they're atheists, Jews, Christians, Muslims, doesn't matter. As long as they're human beings, that house is for a place of return in peace for everybody, because that's it, linnas, for everybody. But here comes the conditions. When it comes to we want protection, right? We need protection, spiritual, intellectual, as well as physical. Here the conditions. Okay, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We honored the children of Adam. Now here a different term. It's not وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا النَّاسَ. We have honored the whole humankind. It's a place of return where we can get dignity, honor, but conditions apply. So as you can see the difference here, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Now the category is much smaller, only the children of Adam. Children of Adam has a very common meaning, general meaning is everybody being the children of Adam and Eve, but that's a very general meaning. وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. The children of Adam of the time, they are protected, they are honored, they have been given kiramat, and that's with emphasis. Here we have two emphasis. Qad, certainly. وَلَقَدْ lam is two emphasis together. وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. There must something be special here because this double emphasis here. So Bani Adam, وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ. And we have carried them in dry or in the sea, bahar. Why? How is that? Let's take as an example today. Technology, today's inventions, scientific discoveries, everything. What are they doing? They're exposing everything. They're exposing the Sharia. They're exposing the beliefs of Judaism. They're exposing the beliefs of Christianity. So it will expose the beliefs of this Ismaili faith too, of them all the Muslims. Everybody is in a global village right now. Welcome. So what's happening? An ocean of information, misinformation, disinformation, wrong information. How can we find out the essence, the hikmat, the wisdoms there? We will be drowned. People, billions of people are drowned. They don't have that protection, that is standard to carry them along. Are the Ismailis protected? Yes and no. We're going to find out, because yes, but conditions apply. Otherwise, nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. There's a lot of discussions going on different platforms. Everybody is exposed. They are going against each other. And Sharia by itself is like a sour river that was forced on the ummah all along. But now the time has come. Why the time has come? In the Quran Sharif, you'll find this verse of the Quran Sharif in the wisdoms mentioned by al-Dīn. يَوْمَ يَأْتِي تَأْوِيلُهُ. The day that the esoteric meanings will come. That means 14 centuries ago, the ta'wil was not there. That esoteric ta'wil was not there. It had to wait for today, for the last day of creation, for Yawmul Akhir, where technology, philosophical information, discoveries, everything happening at such a speed, such an incredible speed that everything is exposed. Now, who is going to sustain us? Somebody must have a divine power, divinely designated, and must have that power to sustain us, to give us this kiramat and carry us along. Any ups and downs in history, it carries along, provided we hold tight to that rope. If that becomes the case, then a special ghiza, risk, comes from his huzur, presence to us, because this risk is not the risk that everybody is eating from coming from out of the earth, physical earth. And the Quran Sharif says, وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ. Your risk is in the heavens, not on the earth. وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. And whatever is promised to you, that's from the heaven. So that being said, Quran Sharif says that, Amin. So that something special must come from the heavens. There's no such thing as physical heavens. So we must find Who's this physical? There's a subtle spiritual heaven that our risk provisions come to us. So if that happens, honor, and we have been carried along in any dryness or any ocean of information, disinformation, any kind of deluge, we have been carried along safely with protection. In that case, we receive a special risk from all those tayyibat, pure things. In that case, we enjoy the fazilat, dignity, honor, greatness. That fazilat is we're 100% tied up to wisdoms. When we receive wisdoms, our fazilat goes up. The ranks go up. Allah kasiram mimman khalaqna tafzira, against all those people that have been created. This category of children of Adam enjoys all this, but are we safe? We said no, subject to conditions. Here are the conditions. Alam ahad, have I not taken the oath from you? Ilaykum ya bani Adama. Have I not taken, Allah Ta'ala is talking to us, O children of Adam, have I not taken the oath from you? Ya bani Adama, Allah ta'budu shaitan, that don't worship shaitan. Innahu lakum aduwwun mubin, that he is a obvious enemy to you. Anybody who knows that shaitan is if somebody who knows this is shaitan, or he or she is shaitan, or shaitan is there, he would not worship that. But worshiping shaitan has a different subtle philosophy that we all know that. So if we stay safe, don't worship shaitan, then these conditions will be fulfilled. Karamna, hamalna fil barri wal bahri, razaqnahum min at-tayyibat, wa fazzalnahum ala kaseeran mimman khalaqna tafzila. We can all enjoy that with a deep sense of gratitude, humility, submission, and true understanding once we are safe from this. But we are human beings, we have soul, we have intellect, we have nafsi amara. We need to carry on with this battle against shaitan, because they could be in different forms. These were the conditions that would apply. So here's the hadith. It's very famous hadith. It has a lot of wisdoms, deep wisdoms. Ma wasi'ani arzi wala samai, that neither my earth nor the heavens could contain me. Walakin wasi'ani qalbi abdi al-mu'min, but only the heart of my mu'min slave can contain me. Here's the thing. This is a very big deal. This is a very big deal, where Allah Ta'ala is beyond his space and his spacelessness. But what about this heart? What is the nature of this heart? Whose heart it is that can contain Allah based on this hadith? It's ajibu gharib. So in order to understand this, have a little bit more understanding about this heart, you may read this nazm. Usne kaha mein tera dil ho. I missed this thing. Usne kaha mein tera dil ho. Give me one second. Let me see if I can bring this nazm.
Sultanuddin Sahib, if you can move the slide up as well.
Okay. I need to skip from this presentation in order to see that, bring that nazm. Okay, can everybody see this nazm here on my screen?
Yes.
Okay, in order to understand whose heart it is, what is the nature of that heart, we're going to go through this nazm quickly, because I don't think we can have time to cover that. Sach hai ke kaha usne ek ganj khuda hai dil. We're talking about the ganj, treasure, hidden treasure. Where is that? Where can you find it? If our friends were present on that presentation of Fatima Bartiji Saiba, she covered this dil thing. Ganji nihani talab az dilu az janakhish. Ganji nihani talab az dilu az janakhish. You need to talab, ask for this. Ganji nihani, the hidden treasure. As dilu as janakhish, from your heart and jan, soul. Not only one heart, just heart. heart and soul. Why is that? Let me read this poem again. It's from Pir Naṣīr Khusraw. Ganj Nihani, this hidden treasure, talab. Talab from asking or demanding. Talab. As dilu as jan khish, from your own heart, dil, and from your own soul. As jan khish. If you are to go about acquiring this Ganj Nihani, that's the purpose of the whole life. Ganj Nihani. That's the totality of the Godhead. We're not going to go for Kareem, Rahim, Zikr, Salim, all that. No, separate individuals, attributes of Allah. No. One whole package. Ganj Nihani. It comes as a package. Everything in it. Everything in it. All the heavens, all the miracles you can imagine, all the secrets of all the prophets, whatever you can imagine, all the good things, the sublime things of oneness, tawheed, all the secrets of all the prophets is in that Ganj Nihani. But that you can do talab as dilu as jan khish. So two things are involved here. Dil has something to do with that intelligence, wisdom that is centered here in the forehead of the humankind. As John's soul is something to do with the zikr. So that's why you have zikr, fikr. Zikr, fikr. One way cannot go. You got to go both, take both. Otherwise, we can't reach there. If that becomes the case, that hidden treasure by itself, where it is, dil, the heart is that hidden treasure. Now we need that ishq haqiqi. So that, what is ishq haqiqi? How to find out? Nobody, when people don't have any sense of ishq haqiqi, we got to make it up, have a sense of human ishq to human, love of humanity to humanity. That's a very smaller scale, but we should have understanding of that, feeling of that, experience of that. That ishq haqiqi is way beyond that. So what happens? Allah ya ayyus saqi adirikana wa nawilha. As Sadi puts it, ishq asan namud awwal wale uftad mushkilha. Once we embark on this journey, we ask for this. Ishq asan namud awwal. This journey becomes easy because of this love. Ishq asan namud awwal. In the beginning, it becomes easy. But it's gonna, it will be followed by mushkilha, difficulties. But the difficulties will come, but with His mercy, those difficulties will level up the level of enjoyment. Otherwise, you will not get the sublime status. You can probably, friends can read this nazm on their own terms. It's about Didar too. So it's qalib khakime dil alam akbar hai. Look at this beauty. It's qalib khakime. This language is so high. This is the language of Baitul Khiyal. This is the language of mysticism, practical spirituality. If we don't develop that language of Baitul Khiyal, it's so hard to reconcile all this. How is that possible? God being above time and space, down now is Qalib Hakim in this physical existence. How can we contain God in Godhead? That's a deep language of Baitul Khiyal. Because we are limited to physical senses, we see a physical body, but that's our soul and mind goes beyond this physical bodies. It's beyond, way beyond that. It's a Hamaras Hamagir. It's all reaching, all encompassing, transcends all these levels. But this subtlety has numerous ranks. At the highest of subtlety is the Imam Zaman. Subtle body, Jusayib Daya, Hazrat Yūsuf's share, all that is that highest level. Everybody can have subtle body. What's the proof? We go to sleep, and in your sleep, you're going flying somewhere, you're going on the moon, you're going on the Mars, or you're going in China, some other places that you haven't been there physically. Then how did you go there? That your subtle existence, your subtle body, you visited there somewhere. How? Then you wake up, you have some memory of that. So our subtle bodies have a different level, but Imam Zaman's subtle body is a universal soul. Universal soul is not alone. That goes along with the universal intellect. That thing is the heart that this hadith is talking about. That heart contains that Godhead with all its attributes and beauties, miracles, whatever you name it. That heart. Is that heart limited to that Imam Zaman alayhi salam? Then what's the relationship that Imam Zaman says, my beloved spiritual children? What is the relationship in the Quran Sharif says, Ya Bani Adam, Ya Bani Adam? Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam went on this path of oneness from different stages, from different difficulties. He reached the oneness. He reached the oneness. He became Muwahhid Azam. Then he introduced a principle. فَمَنْ تَبِعَنِي فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي. Whoever follows me, he is from me. And he was from Allah because he submitted his Facebook, spiritual Facebook, to that of the Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, Qibla. So Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, in a short, he had become that Qibla. Whoever submits his spiritual face to that level, he becomes that Qibla. That's min muqam Ibrahim musalla. That's the invitation. That's the command for every soul. That what takhizu min muqam Ibrahim musalla. So for all of us, that invitation, or you call it command or divine command, is there to reach that there. Then you'd be able to worship that Allah in a true sense at the level of subuhun wa quddusun. That level is min muqam Ibrahim musalla. In that verse of the Quran, if you remember, we read that. So that is, everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. Only we need a perfect obedience of the perfect man, which is Imam Zaman. If you understand that language, we need to be very profoundly grateful to that. And we need to be grateful to this qalib khaki too, this physical body. This physical body is a means. The soul and the intellect cannot be in a mujarrad abstract sense and could reach to the destination. We need this body, and whatever time has been given to this body naturally, 90, 100 years, that's a blessing to use that purposefully. But that's not easy. आसान नमूद अव्वल वाले उफ्ताद मुश्किल हा दिल दायरे कुल है और अर्ज़ समा है दिल. You can read this Nazam, that heart, that not this heart, our heart. No, if we get to that point, then probably we could call it okay, because at that point it's one heart, that oneness. If that becomes the case, dil daire kul hai. Dil becomes that nafs kulli, universal soul, which transcends everything, all the universe, Or arzu sama hai dil. Asrar shahi khuban is dil ke khazane hai. Wow, subhanallah. Right now we are trying to learn wisdom by wisdom. If we reach to that manba, source of all the blessings, all the miracles. You have a question about Hazrat Adam alayhi salam? There's a file, Hazrat Adam. Click on that file. That file opens up. Go inside that spirituality. Explore it. Experience it. First-hand experience. Then any questions about Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, about his spirituality? No problem. You would know it. Because in the heavens, in the Baitul Ma'mur, you can find this in Hazar Hikmat, book of 1,000 wisdoms, where Allah says that, quotes some hadith, that in the heavens there is a bazaar, market. In that market you'll find pictures. Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, Hazrat Khatam alayhi salam, 124,000 prophets, Pir Naṣīr Khusraw, Pir Sultanuddin Any prophet, you name it, you want to explore, click on that file. Get in there. All these files are controlled or in one master file. That's what kulla shay'in ahsaynahu fi imam mubin. Once you reach the master file, you have the control. Every single file, click, enjoy. That's why a mu'min is salik when becomes a arif, and arif becomes a perfect man. He enjoys the totality of that Godhead, of that Baitul Ma'mur, and much more details that you can name it. So Asrar Shahi Khuban is dil ke khazane hai. Once, but you need that heart. Once you get that master heart, Asrar Shahi Khuban is dil ke khazane hai. All the secrets of all this 124,000 prophets, every peer, every da'i, all this and beyond, Azal, Abad, infinity, all that is dil ke khazane hai. Asrar Shaykhum. Get that master heart. Get that master. Why would you go after this? Go after the master heart. Once you get the master heart, the master file, everything will be yours. Sadbar fidahe jan, sadbar fidahe dil. A lot of more love language of Baitul Khayal here. Enjoy. You can read this nazam and enjoy. Dar parda kaha usne dil mere hawale kar. E jani jahan wallah ye leki tera de dil. This is the where the Ibda'i Mu'jizat takes place, is based on my humble understanding and the teachings of ᶜAllāmah, that where Didar, the final Didar, is about to take place, in that Fanayat, the last Fanayat, or Ibda'i Paidaesh, the birth of instantaneous birth, is about to take place. So dar parda kaha usne dil mere awale kar, e jani jahan wallah ye leke tera hai dil. So once you get to that point, you cannot stay away. There's no principle there to support the duality. It's called oneness. Welcome to the world of oneness. Is martabai dil ko arif hi samajhta hai. Now, who's going to understand this? Only arif can understand this sublime states of this heart. What we can do with the help of ilmul yaqeen, with the help of philosophy, with the help of teachings of our good da'is, and reasoning, logic, all that, we can have some understanding. There's no way we could have a true understanding of that status. For that, you have to, that's why we have Baitul Khayal. For that, we need to jump in the ocean of Baitul Khayal, and may Mawla bless each and every one of us in that field. If not in this life, but we, at least the goal is clear, that he's the one, he's the master file, he's the Baitul Ma'mur, everything is him. If not this 90, 80, 90, 100 years, but the goal is clear, that helps us a lot. That in the next world, we can have a jump start. In the next life, or life hereafter, a spiritual life, we can have a jump start. If we're not clear, floating, Baitul Khayal with no sense of direction, that's not good. Dil dadai ul fatho mein ab mujh mein kaha hai dil. Now here's the claim, the statement, that I'm not that ordinary person anymore. My heart has been taken over by that master heart. There's no that such other heart right now in me anymore. Dilbar ne liya dil ko ashiq mein kuja hai dil. That dilbar who's taken my heart, that beloved. And now in the lover, you cannot find any ordinary heart. Even if you find, it's going to be the other, the master heart now. Sat shukur ke ab janan khud meri khudi hoga. Here the other, such a big statement, such big statements, such big secrets, wisdoms can be only mentioned in the nazms, not openly. Sat shukur ke ab janan khud meri khudi hoga. That right now, that janan, that beloved, there's no difference between me and him. He's khud meri khudi. Jab jaan hai fida usse, jab usme fana hai dil. अशआरी नसीरी में असरार निहानी है दिल उक़्दा लायनहाल और उक़्दा कुजा है दिल. Such a beauty, such a beauty. And one, that uqday layanhal, that not solvable, cannot find a solution for that knot or that difficulty. That in any schools, any universities in the world, in any situations, only with that heart. How can you define this heart? So this heart, there's a lot of things with this heart. Okay, let's go back. I think we are flying in the language of Baitul Khayal right now. Let's go back. Although we won't be able to cover the other question. So as the slide is there right now, can we see it?
G.
Okay. So this is the hadith, the blessed hadith that we talked about. Hopefully we got some understanding about this heart. Now we're going to move a bit faster. I think we pretty much covered all this. So in Sharia, prayers considered accepted or not considered. In Sharia, prayers cannot be considered accepted. I need to fix this here. Without facing to Qibla. In haqiqat, in reality, no prayers will be accepted without facing to the haqiqi Qibla. We all know right now who's the haqiqi Qibla. So no prayers will be accepted. If no prayers will be accepted without facing the true Qibla, then there's no way we could progress. No way. That brings us to question number 88. I'm going to make this one shorter. Hopefully everybody has read it, and part of it we have covered it in the previous question, the shirt of Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam. Please tell us some useful points regarding Hazrat Yusuf's shirt. What was it? Was it really a physical shirt, or was it a garment of paradise? Here's the beauty about that Masalul A'la. We got to remember this term. It's from in the books of al-Allāmah Sahib Qaddas al-Sirruhu, you will find this term, Masalul A'la. A sublime example is such that contains a lot of examples. The aqiqat, the essence is one, but a lot of examples because it has numerous functions, miracles. This shirt must be that heart, that special master heart we talked about, or a copy of it. Oh, is it possible to make a copy of it? Can you have a question that nothing is possible in his power? Isn't anything impossible? What if the master heart loves someone? Can he make some copies out of that? Possibly. Then in that case, master heart is master heart. One, Imam Zaman, Imam Mustaqar, but he can have many manifestations, copies at sublime status. As dili Hazrat ba hujjat rah بود، as dili hujjat ba Hazrat rah بود، او به تایید دلش آگاه بود. Once a blessed soul gets to that point, Imam Azam loves your soul, he can make a copy of your soul. He's the Shahin Shah, the emperor. He doesn't do things. He have all these manifestations of himself. These days, probably in astronomy, people talk that many suns, some suns brighter than this sun in our solar system. I remember al-Allāmah Sahib who once tackling this kind of question, he said that even if the many suns would be possible, in that case, the master sun is there. All the sun is a copies of that sun. But in spirituality, they have their oneness. The manifestations are possible. Manifestations are possible. So the same with the garment of paradise. This shirt of Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam must be that Baitul Ma'mur. Cannot be two realities. Or it was aqiqatul aqaiq, reality of realities. At one point, as a shirt of Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam. At another point, some kind of image of Rahman. That Hazrat Adam was created on the image of Rahman. And then Bani Adam, children of Adam, can be created on the image of Adam. Adam was an image of Rahman, the compassionate. Here is the thing, haqiqatul aqaiq, masalul a'la. These are not two different things. One thing, essence, but many examples because it has many functions. That's the language of wisdom, language of Baitul Khayal. Inshallah, we understand that.
Yeah, Ali Madad.
Yeah, Ali Madad. Did somebody say Ali Madad?
Maafi.
Okay. Mawla Ali Madad. And may Allah bless you, bless everybody. Hazrat Yūsuf became the Imam in his father's lifetime. Here's a special things. Hazrat Yaqub was Imam. His Imamah is transferred to Hazrat Yūsuf in his lifetime. Already he's alive, but that Amr is now is transferred to Hazrat Yūsuf. So when that happens, Hazrat Yūsuf becomes the source of the Amr. What happens? The 11 stars in the sun and the moon all prostrate to Hazrat Yūsuf. That's the case, because if there's a 12 hujjas, one of the 12 hujjah, Hazrat Yūsuf was himself one of the 12 hujjas. So the 11 in the sun, which was the previous Imam Sabiq, in his Bab, all of them do prostration to Hazrat Yūsuf, because now the office of Imam is with Hazrat Yūsuf. And that Jism shirt of Hazrat Yūsuf was Jism Latif. We talked about it, subtle body. That subtle body by itself is Baitul Ma'mur too. Subtle body, that master subtle body that we talked about. So that subtle body belongs to Hazrat Imam of the time. And the others who are Ahle Wahdat, we have three categories. Ahle Wahdat, all those people who enjoy the oneness. Ahle Taratub, all of us which are at different levels. And Ahle Tazad, the adversaries. Adversaries are shut out of this. But Ahle Taratub enjoy these beauties, blessings at the time, at different levels of Ilmul Yaqeen, Ainul Yaqeen, all that. But Ahle Wahdat, those great souls who reach the oneness, they witness, they tasdeeq, they see how all these manifestations of great soul, subtle body, how these things work, how Imam Sabiq's Noor at the last stage gets transferred to Imam Lahiq, how all those things, we don't know, but these people of oneness, Ahle Wahdat, they see it. Because they're perfect man too. They're copies of that Noor. They're one Noor. So how come they would not be able to see what's happening, what's not happening, especially with respect to this last month's events in the last month or this month, whatever all these things happen at different levels. How come a perfect man would not know he's becoming an Imam? Or how come not even that? Other souls who are not even in that family, that if they access that master file, they know all the secrets. There's nothing will be hidden from them. All right, the rest, I think I'll clear this subtle body, this Baitul Ma'mur, whatever you name it, Masalul A'la, Haqiqatul Aqaiq, Imam Mubin, Khazinatul Khazain, whatever you name it, this is the master file, this is the heart, this is the master heart. Once any blessed soul reach there, they can enjoy the everlasting blessings. And that was the case with Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam, that he was weeping for that, because that status, imamat, was transferred to Hazrat Yūsuf alayhi salam. With gratitude and ᶜAllāmah, I hope I didn't confuse anybody. With his mercy, whatever mistakes with sins we committed, you may forgive us. The rest of the blessings is from his treasure. ᶜAllāmah, and thank you.
Amida Charania, Mane Paraviche to 20.
जी हमीदा माँ थोड़ी देर के बाद ओके
Okay.
Alhamdulillah. Subhanallah, subhanallah. Beautifully explained the session. It is truly, the events in this month. Indeed, there is a whole lot for us to reflect, an understanding of Zahiri aspect of Kaaba and understanding the Batini aspect of it, and how you explained that Baitul Ma'mur, if it is the Batini aspect of it, if the earth keeps moving, then it keeps moving. So, there is a lot more to reflect, lot more to understand. And as Maulana Hazir Imam also, guide us that, we need to reflect on creation. There are a lot of signs for us in this creation to be able to understand the religion, because at times we only look at the physical aspect of it and we don't look at the batini aspect, and it creates much more issues in our mind. If everything has a pair and Allah says it in Quran, then we understand that if there is a good, there is a bad as well. But we focus at times more on the things which we don't understand, then we don't reflect on it. So alhamdulillah, with a session like this, you gave us a whole lot to reflect on, how specifically Bani Adam, which we should understand it, how the key words which we need to focus on, that everybody is children of Adam, but which children of Adam are the spiritual children of the Adam of the time matters. So alhamdulillah, we do need to reflect a lot more, which you have covered. So alhamdulillah, inshallah, friends will have questions and any comments. The chat is open. Please go ahead and post your questions. I do have, I know Dr. Dilawar Sahib had a question. I think you touched it, that it's not a physical organ we're talking about. But his question is, this beautiful poem talks about dil and qalb. Can you explain secular meaning and the esoteric tawil between dil and qalb? Mute, please. Unmute.
How would this Naṣīr would know all the details? The more technical terms, you could ask Naveen Sahib with a medical background, or Fatima Bartichi Sahib. I think she covered it well in her last session about heart, qalb, dil. But a little bit in my humble capacity, when we talk about that heart that Allah Ta'ala does, that it says that center of intelligence of humanity is right here in the forehead, not the anatomy language right in our ear. So when the center is here, the reception, the airport is here, the airport to receive the blessings from the subtle world. And that thing needs, that's been given to every humanity, every person. So nobody can complain on the day of judgment that I was not given something. That reception naturally is given to us. But the blessings of children of Adam is manifold, because already past many stages. If we are taught based on our faith, we already passed many stages. Philosophers, scientific communities, great people with language skills, medical knowledge, whatever you name it, or masters or PhDs in Arabic language, still they don't know. Why do we know that? We don't know the Arabic much, but we know this language of wisdom. It's because of this heart being blessed with the eternal blessing under the obedience of that master heart. The more we think about this, may Allah bless us more, every one of us. I don't have much to give. Allāmah said, I don't know, too many books, too many lectures. How can we? I think this life is not enough to cover all this. One book, this 100 questions, taking how long? This ilm al-yaqeen is a world. Ayn al-yaqeen is another world. Haqq al-yaqeen. Hey, bahut dur ilmi safar tez chala chal. So we don't have any option but keep moving. That's the meaning of life. That's the meaning of being born in this. The whole purpose of our life is to come and serve Imam Zaman, his house, the Jama'at, beloved Jama'at, and the humanity. Everybody, inclusiveness. What we see, atheists, Judaism, Christianity, all of them is the creation of Allah. All of them is in that oneness, is just one. And this world has come and things happen that people went the other ways. And that's the job of that master heart and those who follow that master heart to help with this mission to carry on. I'm going off track right now.
Thank you, Ya Ali Madad, Sultanuddin Sahib, for a wonderful
Ye-
session.
Ya
And
Ali
we
Madad.
look forward to the
Ya Ali
session,
Madad. Thank
inshallah.
you.
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Kalimadadi.